Black and White Sports Supporters. Well, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark in the NBA. I mean, I give Adam Silver some credit for actually making an attempt and understanding, it seems understanding better than the WNBA, the kind of star power and potential, the force that is the Caitlin Clark phenomenon.
Picture this. It's the 2012 NBA All-Star Weekend. The crowd is humming, the lights are dim, and then the SP spotlight hits center court. However, it's not LeBron or Giannis taking the court. Instead, it's Caitlin Clark, the NBA's brightest star, who is set to face the Splash Brothers in a three-point showdown that will be remembered for years. You may be wondering how we got here, and the answer is that it all began with Clark's insane offseason, during which she has been honing her skills under Coach Keith Porter, going from incredible finishes at the rim to long-range bombs. After pushing herself to the limit, Clark is now prepared to demonstrate her abilities to the world.
So as you can see, Coach Keith Porter is there. He is ready to take Caitlin Clark's game to the next level. They're working on a lot of finishes in this video, a lot of finishes at the rim, and maybe some different finishes that we didn't see from her in the 2024 season.
Are you prepared to see the history of basketball? You may be wondering if Clark is good enough to hang out with NBA players, but let me tell you about her crazy offseason. Clark has been working hard with Coach Keith Porter, and it's not your typical practice session. Instead, they're talking about full-speed drills that will blow your mind away. But this is where things get really interesting. In addition to honing her strengths, Clark is rapidly growing her arsenal.
Now, Coach KP told me that one of his goals for Caitlin was just to expand her bag. So no matter what defense is thrown at her, she has something for it. And what I love here is they are working on taking it to the rim, but sometimes pulling up a little bit short, sometimes pulling up a little behind the block, faking that she's going all the way to the basket, turn around, fade away little Kobe jumper.
Picture this. Clark is at the rim, but rather than making a layup, she pulls up for a Kobe-style fadeaway. That's new, and her three-point shooting is even better. She creates shots off screens, dribbles, you name it. Coach Porter is determined to give Clark so many offensive options that the defense won't know what hit them.
And then, of course, working on the signature Caitlin Clark three-pointers coming off of screens. It looks like she's working on the handoff, 1-2 dribble into the shot.
Let me explain. Clark isn't just going through the motions. She's training at game speed and pushing herself to the limit because she knows she's not just getting ready for the WNBA, she's getting ready to take on the world's best shooters. Now, you might be wondering if this is actually making a difference. Coach Porter wants Clark to be unstoppable, not just a better shooter. Can you believe he's actually saying things like, opponents will struggle to stop her if she wants to score 20 or 30 points in a game? That's not just confidence. It's a direct challenge to every defender out there.
Like Coach KP said, just expanding her bag. So no matter what teams throw at her, she can handle that. He said he wants her to feel so comfortable in her skill set that it doesn't matter what the defense does. And he wants other teams to feel like they're just going to have to accept getting buckets from Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark wants to drop 20 or 30 a game, they're just going to have to accept that because there's not much they can do to stop her.
And let's take a moment to discuss that three-point contest. Because she knows the game is going to get much faster and harder, Clark isn't content with just being a spot-up shooter. Instead, she's working on developing her own shots, moving off screens, and dribbling into threes. She's not just getting ready for the NBA, she's getting ready to compete at the NBA level.
I know that Caitlin Clark is putting in a lot of offseason work on different aspects of her game. We actually haven't seen that much three-point shooting from her in these offseason workouts. However, with it getting closer to NBA All-Star, these were spot-up shots. And I know she didn't have the rack out there, but I guarantee you that she is preparing for this NBA three-point shooting contest.
However, if you think that's amazing, wait until you hear about the NBA's last-ditch effort to preserve their All-Star weekend. They don't just see Clark as another player. They see her as their secret weapon to revive a dying tradition, and given the way Clark has been training, she might be the spark they need. Last year's game was a complete bust. We're talking about a final score that looked like someone damaged the scoreboard. It wasn't just terrible, it was embarrassingly awful. Remember when the NBA All-Star Game was the high point of your basketball calendar? Well, those days are long gone.
The NBA All-Star Game is a joke. But this tournament fix, it sounds terrible. It sounds like a complete nightmare.
You can tell it's not good when even the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, is in dire need of solutions. Can you believe that the man in charge of the league is implying that their marquee event is dying in front of our eyes? He's not mistaken. The ratings for the game last year were so low that Silver most likely couldn't sleep for weeks. This is a serious nosedive, people.
I will say this, I think Adam Silver has realized maybe the most valuable commodity he's got is the NBA All-Star Saturday night, which is kind of sad.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, because players are speaking out as well. They're expressing what we've all been thinking, that the All-Star Game has devolved into a glorified pickup game with no defense, no effort, just a group of superstars running up and down the court like they're at the neighborhood YMCA.
Why are the players disappointed? They're the ones that played in it and played absolutely zero defense. And they have played no defense in our game for years now and has made it a completely unwatchable product. By the way, what's the incentive for any of these four teams to want to win this tournament? Like, what is the incentive for it? That's what I don't get. Or are we talking about four teams that all go out there and you've got no defense, and neither of the two games are the final game of the tournament?
Now, you may be wondering, surely it can't be that bad, right? It's gotten so bad that fans are actually begging professional athletes to try during a game. It's like we've entered a bizarre alternate universe where everything has gone backwards and the main event has lost its excitement. Remember when the dunk contest was must-see TV? Now it's about as exciting as watching paint dry. We've gone from Michael Jordan to Dominique Wilkins too? Well, I can't even remember who was in it last year. It's become so forgettable.
So now they're talking about a tournament. And frankly, I don't even quite understand what he's trying to get to here. But that may be the most interesting part of all of this. It's not the NBA tournament, All-Star tournament. His idea for NBA Saturday night.
Yes, that's correct. What should a desperate league do? Adam Silver isn't just sitting on his hands. He's looking for answers and isn't scared to think creatively. According to reports, the NBA is thinking about completely changing the format of the All-Star Game, possibly making it a 4-team competition.
Mark NBA event to another. We have some breaking news regarding All-Star Weekend here. Our senior insider Sham Sharanya with us now. What's going to be different about All-Star 2025 in the Bay?
Malika, I'm told that the NBA is nearing a 4-team tournament for the All-Star Game in February in the Bay Area, and this is how it's going to work. It's going to be 3 teams consisting of 8 All-Stars per team, and then the winner of the Rising Stars game, all going to come together to compete in a bracket-style 4-team competition. And Steph Curry, the star host of this All-Star Weekend in the Bay Area, he has been involved, I'm told, along with other All-Stars, having input in this year's game, because we know how disappointed the fans, the audience, Adam Silver, and everyone, even including the players, was over last year's All-Star Weekend.
Although it's a
game.
risky move, you must try something different when your flagship event has become unwatchable. You may be asking yourself, well, we've heard about the NBA's All-Star disaster, but what's Caitlin Clark got to do with any of this? Well, get ready, because Adam Silver is going to execute the most outrageous Hail Mary pass in NBA history.
We'll leave it to Adam Silver to figure out a way to get the biggest commodity in basketball, in all of basketball, into this event. And it makes sense if he wants people to watch, and people will watch this.
This is the offer. Think of this. Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu, the 2 deadliest sharpshooters in the NBA, facing off against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Silver isn't just desperate. He's going all out. And his secret weapon is a shootout out that will shatter your mind. Yes, you read correctly. The Splash Brothers versus the new queens of the court is more intriguing than you could have ever imagined. However, this isn't merely a light-hearted NBA exhibition. It's a lifeline.
Indianapolis, and that means finding creative avenues to attract competition. And that means bringing back a highlight of last year's All-Star Weekend, which was the WNBA shootout between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. Sources tell me that Curry and Ionescu are continuing discussions on bringing back that shootout. There is plans for that, but also potentially including Klay Thompson and Caitlin Clark in that competition this year.
Wow, I mean, that would absolutely be must-see TV if those sharpshooters go head-to-head. And to your point, Shams, the All-Star game, there was a combined 397 points scored last year, so something has to be done for that.
They're placing all of their hopes on this crazy notion, and who knows, maybe it will work. In a recent broadcast, Reggie Miller gave a hint that has everyone talking. Clark might be attending the All-Star Weekend. This isn't just idle conversation. It indicates that the NBA's top brass are seriously considering this move. Clark has been drawing crowds that make some NBA games seem like practice sessions. Silver is now placing a large wager on her star power to revitalize a tradition that has been stagnating.
But it's clear Adam Silver is... he's desperate. I mean, they are calling on Caitlin Clark to save the NBA All-Star Weekend. This product out of Iowa that just took over basketball. Damn women's basketball. I mean, took over basketball.
Here's the kicker, though. Clark has been working hard to elevate her game and isn't just sitting around waiting for the invitation. On her birthday, she effortlessly made 50 out of 54 three-pointers, which is not only impressive, but also makes Steph Curry anxious. It's not just Clark, though. The NBA is discussing bringing back the shootout format with Stephen Curry and Sabrina Ionescu, but this time they include Clark and Klay Thompson as well. It's as if they're putting together the Avengers of basketball shooting.
I guess they would have that as a head-to-head competition. There's part of me that would almost rather see Steph and versus Klay and Caitlin Clark. To me, that would be like a little bit more interesting to create maybe a team competition out of that, right? I mean, I don't know. And then the highest score combined wins, whatever they're going to do.
Let's be honest for a moment. The NBA is making this desperate maneuver to remain relevant. They are practically enlisting a women's basketball phenomenon to save their marquee event. Talk about a plot twist. The strange part is that it might actually work. With this possible shootout, Clark is not only popular but also transforming the game and attracting viewers who had never been interested in hoops before. She is also bridging the gap between the WNBA and NBA in a level that has never been seen before.
Caitlin Clark was such a driving force that now Adam Silver's got to try to get her involved to chum up interest. I mean, let's put some chum in the water to try to get people to want to tune in, and they will tune in. I mean, if Caitlin Clark's involved, it's going to be very interesting if they make this happen, what she's going to do to the ratings of this.
Okay, let's be honest for a moment. Is Caitlin Clark capable of competing with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry? We're discussing two of the best shooters in NBA history, the Splash Brothers living legends. So I know what you're thinking. It sounds weird, right? But this is where things start to get crazy.
Now, Caitlin Clark also just celebrated a birthday a couple days ago, and for her birthday, she was in the gym, and she went 50 for 54 from 3 on her birthday.
Remember how Clark has been working hard over the offseason? Well, it's not just for show. She's been working on some very impressive things. We're talking about growing her shooting range, honing new skills, and even creating a Kobe-esque fadeaway. Clark is getting ready to compete against the best in the NBA, not just the WNBA.
But last year in the three-point shootout, Sabrina shot with a women's ball, but she shot from the NBA three-point line. And the NBA offered her to shoot from the WNBA line, and she said she wanted to shoot from NBA. We know that also will not be a problem for Caitlin because she's already shooting from that rate.
You may be wondering, well, but can she really hang with Curry and Thompson? Well, let's break it down. According to experts, Clark's shooting isn't just good, it's NBA level good. She's already making threes from NBA range with ease, and get this, she's not just a spot-up shooter anymore. Clark has been working on making her own shots that come off screens and shoot off the dribble sound familiar, which is precisely what makes Curry and Thompson so lethal.
NBA All-Star this year, it's in the Bay Area, and the rumor as it stands right now is that it's going to be Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark.
However, this is where things start to become very intriguing because Clark possesses more than just raw shooting skill. He also possesses the kind of star power that causes people to pause and consider the pressure. While most people would crumble when watching NBA All-Star Weekend Millions, Clark thrives on this stuff, and her performances on the WNBA and in college have been compared to those of NBA stars. She has ice in her veins, and when the pressure is on, that's when she shines the brightest, and let me tell you, that's the exact mindset you need to take on the Splash Brothers.
Everybody loves a good boys versus girls moment. Like, who doesn't love that? The stakes are risen no matter who it is. Everybody wants to see that match, especially in Golden State. This is also going to be a reunion for Steph and Klay, these Splash Brothers. They made such iconic memories in the Bay Area, won championships together. Them reuniting and going up against the two best three-point shooters in the WNBA, where the WNBA is at its peak right now, it's box office.
Now you're right, but here's the thing. These are NBA superstars. I get what you're thinking. Not only is Clark participating, but she also has a genuine chance to stun the world and outscore the NBA's top shooters. Some pundits are even saying that she might surprise everyone and perhaps surpass them. Can you believe what we're seeing here? Caitlin, this isn't your typical shootout, people. We're talking about a full-blown revolution in the making. You may be wondering, yeah, Clark is good, but can she really hang with the NBA's best? But Clark isn't just saving the NBA All-Star Weekend. She's turning the entire basketball world upside down. Since Clark is adding a whole new level of excitement to the game, let me tell you that she is not here to play nice. Rather, she is here to dominate and possibly make history in the process. With all of that, you guys have been spreading rumors, and I don't understand why this doesn't happen if you know anything about Adam Silver, as I have interviewed him. One thing Adam Silver will not do, in my many meetings with him, is to pass up an NBA marketing or ratings opportunity, but this is where things start to become really interesting. Basketball will never be the same after this. Clark isn't just taking part in the All-Star Weekend. She's going to demonstrate to the world what women's basketball is truly capable of. The NBA is frantically trying to capitalize on her appeal in an attempt to draw in a larger audience and revitalize their marquee events, and you never know, it might just work. Mark your calendars and get ready for something truly unique.
So with all of that, you guys, the rumors have been flowing. I don't see why this doesn't happen. If you know anything about Adam Silver, and I've interviewed Adam Silver, I've had plenty of conversations with Adam Silver. One thing Adam Silver is not going to do is miss out on a marketing opportunity, a ratings opportunity for the NBA.